But we're off. We're off to the races. I should maybe have some drink first before I did that.
Yeah, I probably should. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
How's everyone doing tonight? I heard, while listening to Harmontown, apparently that's a sign of poor showmanship to start a show with, "Hey, how you doing?" Because that's a sign of you don't have an opening line.
Okay, well, I wasn't expecting you to just bully me.
I wasn't saying that. I was saying because I was the one who said it. Hey, how's it going?
Oh yeah, and I just kept saying hi. All right, so give me your best opening line.
My best opening line.
Off the dome.
Ooh boy, what's up with those pennies? They're getting rid of them. Have you heard about that? Trump's getting rid of the penny.
I was trying to think of something while you were saying one, so I honestly wasn't paying attention to what you said. And I didn't come up with anything good either.
I was trying to do like a typical like late night host doing their like opening monologue, which is just like jokes about the headlines.
What's the deal with bananas?
Yeah, Seinfeld never had a late night show, but
no, I know.
But they always kind of just do a Seinfeld-y newts.
Winston doing an impression of Seinfeld.
Yeah,
that is what I'm doing specifically. My name's Abby. For anybody that doesn't know,
I'm Ethan,
and we're gonna talk about that. Right? That's what we're going with? That's the name of this?
We could talk about that.
We could talk about that.
We could talk about that.
Because what we're doing is we're talking about things.
Yeah, and I feel like that was something we were always...
We were going to talk about that also, and then I think it just kind of... It's fine, it works.
Right, exactly. It's a phrase we throw around a lot.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
We can talk about that. So today's topic of discussion... last week, if anyone missed it, we talked about colors. This week, we're talking about...
World records.
Yeah, world records.
That was a very pretty scale that you did.
Thank you.
Instead of a drum roll, you just did.
Well, because I don't think my mic would
scale.
pick up like me tapping on my pants very delicately. Can you guys hear this? Kind of. Yeah.
Oh.
So, were there any world records that you tried as a kid?
I tried as a kid? No.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, I was very into like the Guinness World Record books as a kid. Because since I was a child that couldn't read, I could read, but it's I'm dyslexic. I'm very dyslexic. Couldn't read or write until I was like in.
Put that like a little further away.
In like second grade.
Do you want to put it on this?
Well, that was weird. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, maybe this is better to do.
Yeah.
So
when you were a kid, what?
Yeah, so it was just hard to read anything as a kid. So having a book that mainly comprised of pictures was
pretty sick.
Yeah, my ideal book.
Yeah. Were there any pictures that like stood out to you as a kid, or any that you remember?
I mean, the nails ones are ones that always stick it. The longest nails.
Oh,
and,
yeah. And they start curling?
Stuff. Yeah.
What's with that? Why do nails curl like that?
I don't know, man.
I always thought the world record for the most facial piercings. You ever seen that one?
Oh yeah,
that one. Oh my god, stuck with me so much as a kid. It's not like I was grossed out by it. It's not that I aspired to that, but I
was kind of.
I thought it was certainly an interesting choice.
Because there's also a guy who has like his tongue's cut in half.
Oh yeah, people do that.
That's called.
Yeah, split tongue.
Yeah,
type
and then
thing.
you can like train him to like be independent.
And you have to keep doing that, or don't they like form together again
if
if
exactly,
you don't use them independently, which is so weird.
You have to do it like
crazy.
Multiple times a day because they will start fusing during the day.
Somehow a tongue can heal from that, but my fucking line of my tongue for my retainer is still there from 10 years ago? Oh god, that's more than 10 years.
I'm sure it would like fuse back, but like really weird.
Sure, yeah, there would probably be a little bit of a line.
Your tongue would look like cleavage or something.
Yeah, wow.
Like
it might make mine look nicer, honestly. My weird little S curve.
Let's do it. You want to cut your tongue right down the middle?
Let's not do that right now.
Live on the podcast.
Yeah.
No visuals, just audio.
Yeah, people would love that. Yeah.
That'd be good. All right. So yeah, I mean, so to start off, You just want to dive right into my list? Because I do like doing some prepared material for podcasts with some off the cuff stuff.
Yeah, this was Ethan's thing. So what I'm adding to this is just talking and off the dome, whatever is in my noggin.
Yeah, dude.
Ethan likes prep. I
like a bit of structure.
Yeah, a little bit of an outline, all this and that. So I'm just gonna follow along, I guess, and see what you got.
Narratively, I'd say I'm kind of obsessed with structure.
Sure.
Which is kind of, I feel like, weird because outside in like my regular day-to-day life, I kind of fear structure. But
do you
maybe
think
not
maybe because
fear structure, but
you don't adhere to a lot of structure? You like structure very strongly in a specific instance?
Well, I guess
that's how some people have, like, a little bit of structure throughout everything.
Right.
You're kind of all or nothing.
I think narratively, when I have structure, it makes me feel more in control of what I'm writing. Whereas, like, in life, if I'm in structure, then I feel controlled rather than be in control, you know?
Sure. Yeah,
but hey,
I don't know that I
world
feel
records.
that way, but yeah. So Ethan found some interesting world records that we're going to go through and react.
Mm-hmm.
You guys like reacting?
But well, first I got a little history lesson because
Okay.
I like historical context for things.
Yeah.
So I kind of looked into like the history of world records, and it kind of all revolves around Guinness, to be honest. Other than just like sports world records, you know, and like the Olympics. But I mean,
talking-
sports world records are dumb.
Guinness, the beer?
Well, so yeah, that's something I didn't connect until I was just looking this stuff up a half an hour ago. Yeah, it's the beer company that came up with this.
That does Guinness World Records?
Yeah.
How did that start? What the fuck?
Well, okay, that's what I got for you. I'm glad you're asking that question because I got the answer.
See, this is
for
me
ya.
reacting and Ethan being prepared.
So there's this guy named Sir Hugh Beaver.
Okay.
Insert joke here.
That's a great. You keep reading.
Okay, but Sir Hugh Beaver, he was a managing director for Guinness Brewery in the 1950s. And one day, him and his pals were palling around in some pub, and he got into an argument about what the fastest game bird was. What that means, I don't know. I was on Wikipedia just browsing.
Game bird, like a quail?
I think something like that. Like, what's the fastest? And like him
Ostrich.
and his buddies were in like such an argument that like they went to the library to like solve this answer, and they couldn't come to a satisfying conclusion.
Sure.
Because they would find multiple sources with like different answers and
Yeah, there wasn't like a main source of like
exactly
world records.
Exactly, yeah. So he had the like brilliant ideas like, hey, what if there was like a book that like accumulated these things like this, and so somehow he had that idea and he somehow got in touch with some like brothers in London because this is all happening in England in like the 50s, late 50s. And he gets in touch with these like two brothers that, like, looking back, probably definitely autistic, because they're twins. They both have encyclopedic memories, and they are like putting together. Oh, what was it? It was like a show or something. I should have written this down better.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Autistic twins is my sweet spot.
They were fact collectors. That's like I remember that was like the wording that stood out to me in the Wikipedia. And so like he talked to like these two guys, and they came up with a book of world records, and then they printed 1,000 copies via Guinness, and then for free gave them out to like pubs within England as promotional material for the brewing company, which is like such a great idea, honestly. Like if you think about it,
that's
like
a real out of the box marketing.
Yeah, well, because this is like maybe not pre-TV, but before they're putting TVs in like bars and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So like you're just like a couple of like alcoholic guys in like England. What are you gonna
look
do?
At some facts.
Well,
and
not
some
even that. But
pierced
like
people.
you're just
and
gonna
birds.
be arguing about stuff constantly, you know.
Yeah,
And I think
ugh.
this is supposed to be like the
freaking men in bars.
This is the Google before Google, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I have this dumb question because me and my friends are arguing about something. Let's find it. Let's find the answer quickly. But yeah, so that's
the intro to the.
So 1954 is when that happened, and then 1956 is when they first made what we would become to understand the Guinness Book of World Records, which would then be sold and published. And like the first year it was published, it was on the bestseller list. It sold over 1 million copies.
Sure, that makes sense.
Just a ludicrous like just a great marketing idea that became like an industry all of its own.
Yeah.
You know, kind of crazy.
So, did you look up also, like, when did Ripley's happen?
No.
Believe it or not? Okay. Well, maybe that's a separate...
That honestly might be like an offshoot of Guinness. Because the world record company is like, it's its own thing now. It's
well,
like
and I don't know that, like, Ripley's
Guinness.
Believe It or Not is, like, I don't think it's world records. I think they include a few, but it's mostly like, hey, look at this wacky person doing this wacky
look at this dog with a 5th leg.
I was gonna say this dog with tattoos. Seen those?
I've seen cats.
Yeah.
The prison cats.
Oh god. That's got like edited, right?
No, those are real.
Real?
Yeah. You
that
can
makes me
adopt them,
sad.
and I really want to adopt a prison cat.
That's so awful. They can't consent.
Mm-mm.
What if they don't want tattoos?
Right. Well,
But what if they do? What if Gizmo wants a tattoo and I just don't know?
Ooh.
Should I do a tarot reading if Gizmo wants tattoos? Interesting.
But okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, done with all the boring history stuff. Snooze fest, am I right? People want to know the biggest, the largest, the tallest, the stinkiest. You know. So, what do you think the largest poop ever was?
Oh, we're getting into the meat and potatoes of it all, huh? Largest poop.
Largest poop.
Now I'm trying to think of like I feel like an elephant would have a real big poop. I'm gonna say a 20-pound poop. That's fucking crazy. I'm going 20-pound poop.
20-pound poop.
20-pounder.
That would be a crazy fucking poop.
Yeah.
So there's kind of 2 answers to this question that I found.
Are we talking length?
Well, okay, so
Or
that's one
weight?
thing. Because there's something that gets posted on Reddit all the fucking time. And I was like, is when I looked this up and I was like, I know what this answer is going to be. But I'm glad I found a second answer also. And it's this, I don't want to say fossilized. It's a preserved Viking poop that was like a little over 8 inches long, which doesn't seem super long for a poop. And like just maybe like an inch thick or something. But I think the thing that makes it super interesting is that it's like preserved,
Right.
which means it's lost most of its water content. And if
Yeah.
it's that big, while having lost most of its
It's
water
dense.
content as a shit,
That's crazy.
that was probably a pretty significant sized shit at some
20
point.
pounds?
I don't know. I could only find the dimensions of that one,
Okay.
not the weight of that one. However,
So you do have a weighted one?
I do have a weighted
Okay.
one. According to TimesNow.com, a Chinese
Okay,
woman
sources.
had
a human woman.
a human woman had surgically removed from her
Okay, sure. Yes, this has got to be big.
44 pounds of fecal
Holy
matter.
toot, dude.
Yeah,
That's a lot of freaking poop.
that's a ton of shit.
I mean,
That's a lot of poop.
yeah. Did you ever know anyone that had compacted bowels?
No.
I did. I'm not gonna
Did?
say.
Are they dead? No.
Yeah, all the poop filled up onto their brain.
Well, they became poop. At some
No.
point, you just cross over.
He got it out. Like,
Oh,
I think
okay.
he needed a bunch of laxatives and like surgery or something.
Wow.
I don't know. It was.
Jeez.
I remember nobody really wanted to talk about it. This was like a kid that I went to school with that was like way younger than me. I'm not gonna out him, but I knew someone with compacted poop, and like it circled in our school news.
Oh, yikes.
And I was like, "Oh, buddy, hope you're able to take a shit." And it felt just weirdly personal, like this kid that I didn't talk to that much. But
Hope your poop's softer.
yeah. Ugh. That's a massive poop.
Very big poop.
I didn't
I
realize
hope
we were
she's
gonna
okay.
get into so much
But
poop.
could
right
you
away.
imagine? Well, I mean, that's like when my first thought was for like interesting world record was, oh, what's the world record that's been broken the most? Had a hard time finding that one.
Sure. Yeah.
And then my second one was, what's the biggest poop?
Wow. I like how your brain works.
Mm-hmm.
Really poop oriented,
Thank
huh?
you. But I mean, you've lifted something that's like 44 pounds before.
Yeah.
Imagine that carrying that
Oh,
around.
I'm
and then
thinking about
just-
like how much weight, like how much lighter she would have felt after
Right.
that. Like that's a lot of weight to just lose.
Yeah.
Like, did her stomach stick out? Did
I have no
like
idea.
did she look pregnant and people would say, "Oh, when are you due?" Oh, well,
I did have
I've
the
been taking a lot
article.
of laxatives and nothing's working.
I do have it pulled
Like,
up.
that would be
if you want me
awful to
read
say.
through it a little bit. A 53-year-old Chinese woman underwent surgery which cleared 20 kilograms, about 44 pounds, of poop stuck in her intestines at Zhejiang University First Hospital in Chinese Eastern region. According to doctors, the woman was suffering from rare, I'm not going to pronounce that, disease in which nerves fail to form or in all parts of the large intestine or colon. Poop matter from intestines.
I'm just thinking, oh, how far along are you?
The doctors
Fucking 24 months. This poop's been in here for forever.
Wow. I mean, swollen and bloated intestines. So, I mean, it sounded like it was past her kidneys and gone into her intestines even.
Wouldn't that, like, at a certain point, doesn't it get into your bloodstream?
I have no idea.
Like, I think you can get so backed up that poop goes in your bloodstream. Am I crazy?
That's a good point. I really like this comparison they just made. Her hardened stool weighed a staggering 44 pounds or 20 kilograms and was compared to a 3-foot-long python in appearance.
Oh, God.
Good Lord.
Was it just all a constant stream, or was it liquid? I don't want to know. We're talking about so much poop.
What do you think the longest held breath voluntarily? The Guinness website, they do.
So who held their breath for the longest? What's the longest period?
Underwater, I should clarify.
Oh, underwater. Well, I watched Percy Jackson, and he fucking did it for half an hour. Ooh, I feel like people can do it for like 7 minutes, which feels crazy. I'm going in even 10 minutes. I feel like
even 10 minutes.
That's fucking crazy.
How about 24 minutes?
24 minutes?
24 minutes.
How are you getting oxygen?
You aren't. I think what they do.
But but like,
I guess that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I think what they do is like it's a way like you're like such an athlete or have such control over your body that you're able to literally slow your heart rate down so low and you just don't move any part of your body.
So you just don't need it.
Yeah, so you just use a lot, like way less oxygen.
And if you have your lung capacity, like really large lung capacity.
Maxed out.
Yeah. That's insane.
It's a lot.
I couldn't do that.
What do you think the most miles ever put on a car is?
Well, I know.
Like mileage?
It's my car, Ginger. It's fucking 275,000.
And that's fucking crazy.
And she's at 276,000, almost 277,000.
Right.
Like, Ginger's cooking. And her windshield wiper flew off today, so.
It will be fine.
Yeah. Many... 300,000. No, it's gotta be more than that. Like, I'm gonna say 500,000.
There's this. It's 3 million.
Okay,
3 million miles put on. It's like some sports car that like I don't know what it is, and it's like the way the guy put the miles on it is like he would drive it to car shows, and he's been doing it for like the past 30 years. But like they don't explain much in the article, and I'm sure I could have found out more. It's like
right,
you're
and
replacing
like you have to replace
a lot
parts,
of stuff.
and like at what point is it? That's got to be like 3 or 4 different cars cycled through, like at minimum.
Right. I mean, it might be all like the same body of the car.
Sure.
And, like,
yeah.
Maybe if they like you're not switching out like the whole engine block at one point.
You keep the same tires and just call it the same car.
What do you think the heaviest carrot ever found was?
Heaviest carrot. You know, I like carrots. Usually I gravitate towards baby carrots.
I like baby carrots.
We've been watching Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, so for anyone that got Ethan's little reference.
I like carrots! You should do that. That'd be funny.
What? Just Cheese saying he likes cereal?
He likes carrots.
Or he usually says he likes cereal.
He usually says he likes chocolate milk.
Well, he says a lot of things.
I like chocolate milk.
Biggest carrot, heaviest
carrot.
See, I want to undershoot it so we feel impressed, but also I feel like I could say a fucking 50-pound carrot.
This one feels disappointing.
Oh, okay, so 4 pounds.
10 pounds.
Okay, that's pretty big though.
Pretty big. I mean, it was
that's
like...
my cat.
Yeah, I mean, it was probably about the size of Gizmo when the guy was holding it up.
Yeah, Oh, yeah, you seen that one picture that was going around for the longest time? What was it? That one old farmer that, like, he was so proud of it, like an onion.
Oh yeah, that dude was on when I was on Twitter. I followed that guy on Twitter.
Yeah, he's holding. It might not have been an onion, but some kind of root vegetable, I
Yeah.
think. And he just looked like the happiest I've ever seen a person look.
he was a great guy.
Yeah.
Hope he's alive still.
Uh,
Largest mouth gape male.
what?
Like, how big can someone open their mouth?
7 inches.
Now, this one doesn't feel impressive, but the picture they had to go with it
Looked crazy.
crazy.
Was it like 4.5 inches?
Yeah, it's like 4 inches, but like the picture they have is this dude's mouth open, and he's like easily putting like a Red Delicious, like an entire
apple.
yeah, in his mouth.
Yeah. I certainly couldn't do that. I don't have a lot to say on that one. I was just.
That's fine. So here's one that's actually a bit more interesting and kind of up our alley. What do you think the longest movie ever made is?
Ooh, see, that's an interesting question.
Right.
Can you give me the genre?
Experimental.
Because
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones who are going to be pushing the limits.
I
I did find like there are some like narrative films that like are like kind of.
was thinking like documentary. Like if it's documentary and it follows like a series of someone's life, it
Well,
could be ongoing.
And so like, but like if you're trying to make like a serious thing, do you want people to like actually watch? You're gonna break it up a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Because I found like a number of narrative pieces that like, yay, you're supposed to watch all 8 hours of it at one time, but yes,
Right.
it's broken up bit by
in
bit.
chunks.
But yeah, no, think experimental films.
I'm not well versed in experimental films. I'm really not.
I'm just throwing it out there because I did do like a deep dive on, not a deep
Did you
dive,
have to make
but,
one for college? Did you make a little experimental video?
Not really.
No, you didn't have to do that. I had to do that for a class.
Yeah, did you take the experimental film class with Anal?
No, I only had one class with him.
I never had a class with Anal.
He made my mom cry.
Why?
Because when I was touring Grand Valley, we were just talking about, like, because we met with him specifically, and we were just talking about the program and stuff, and he was just saying about, like, the importance of creating and how, you know, spiritual it can be. That really reached my mom in her heart. I was like, yeah, okay, this sounds maybe up my alley, and Mom was just crying next to me.
That should have joined film school also.
Yeah. Oh, she would have loved it. Besides the technology parts and the editing and the audio and so a good chunk of it. But I did make I didn't take the experimental class. I don't know why I made.
Are you talking about the one where you were like in a pool floaty?
Yeah, and I had Sunny D and I was whipping it around and I went to like a construction site and I was wearing a big floppy hat and I had a Mickey phone.
Yeah, and your mom shot that, right?
Kinda, yeah. Some parts. I'm just trying to embellish on some of the things that you're talking about. That's what I'm doing. I'm just working up what I can. I'm really just trying to give me time to think of a fucking number. 7 hours.
7 hours?
46 minutes, 12 seconds.
I mean, I already said a narrative one was like 8 hours, so.
Well, but I don't know.
Okay. So in 2012, there was an experimental short film called Logistics, which was about the creation of a pedometer. You know, the thing that like counts your steps.
Yeah.
Like how those are made.
I got that from the root word ped.
Yeah. So how those are made in reverse order.
The root of the word. I don't know that ped is a word. Go. What are you saying?
So it's the creation of one of those in reverse order.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's playing in backward. It's backwards the whole time.
So
also.
12 seconds.
No, it is 857 hours long.
What the fuck?
Which is about 35 days.
Okay, so why were you giving me? Oh, well, I said 7 hours, and you're like, ugh.
The length. I found a Reddit thread where people were talking about this, and there were some narrative films by some French idiots that were like 8 hours long.
Sure. Yeah.
Well,
and I guess, like, I mean, with anything, you can make it as long as you want, even if it is narrative.
Right.
So that was my logic with it. But you said 857
hours. Yeah.
That's
so it's
bananas.
Yeah, it premiered it had like two premieres, kind of. The first one was it played in like a library, pretty much for like a
All
month
the
straight.
time. Yeah.
And then the second one was at a festival, where it played essentially for like a month straight.
I was gonna say, do you think people sat and watched through the whole thing?
I'm sure people came in.
The
and
whole thing?
Not the whole
That's-
thing,
yeah.
no. And then there was, so when I was looking this up, there's interesting enough, there's a movie that was made in 1946 called the longest and most meaningless movie in the world, and that's about 48 hours long. And that's an interesting one because nothing was shot for it. It's all just like B-roll and like outtakes and just like lost, like undeveloped film reels that were found by like these editors that they could just kind of just put into one massive movie.
And this is experimental?
Yeah. This is
Okay, I was gonna say, like,
experimental
were
also.
they
But
piecing all of this together?
1964.
Yeah,
You're
that's
doing
pretty-
that. You're doing that with film. That's a
Yeah.
massive piece of film.
That's a big undertaking, isn't it? Isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But
Crazy.
yeah, that's
really, really long.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have more?
I do have a few more things. I was gonna ask, what's the longest movie that you think you ever sat through?
Oh, sure. God. Ugh. I'm really trying to rack my brain. The one that felt the longest was my first PG-13 movie I ever saw. I was 12 years old, and I was with my parents. But still, I felt rebellious. And the movie was Courageous. You remember that one? It was a, like, Christian comedy.
Okay, that's probably why I never saw it.
Like, I think there were firefighters, and, like, there was, like, some minor violence.
Whoa,
Yeah.
minor violence.
I know.
As in kids fighting kids, or?
No, no kids. This was all adults. Courageous movie. 2 hours, 9 minutes. So as a 12-year-old, yeah, that's gonna feel really long.
I mean, yeah. Also for like the early 2000s, that is a long movie.
Yeah.
Especially if it's just supposed to be like a generic kind of watchable family movie.
So the overview, Sheriff's Deputy Adam Mitchell endures a terrible personal tragedy that causes him to question what is really important to him. Taking comfort in religion, Adam vows to become a better parent to his teenage son and convinces his friends on the force to sign a pledge that they will strive to become better Christians and better parents.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, one of the men's moral compass appears to be broken when it comes to earning some fast money. So that... Never watching that again,
that
I
doesn't
don't
really
think.
sound like a movie.
No.
It's just kind of like, hey, here are some like things that are happening.
Yeah. I remember there was some scene in a car that made me giggle. That's it. That's all I remember from it. Rocket Man was also long. I don't know how long that one is. While I'm looking that up, do you know what the longest movie you sat through and watched was?
When I was in high school, there were a couple of times that me and my friends, we would just watch all of the Lord of the Rings movies in like one sitting.
Oh, sure. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. That's the longest movie.
Yeah.
There is a 3 hour one. What's the
The director's cuts for them
Yeah.
are like 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm. I saw those because my dad was really into that for. Well, he's always liked Lord of the Rings, but we actually sat through and watched those.
The Dune movies are pretty long. You sat through those.
Yeah, I did. Rocket Man's only 2 hour 1 minute. So, not. It could have been
Although-
longer. Ugh.
Off of what you were saying about the longest movie a movie's ever felt is one time when we were tripping acid. I remember one time we were watching Pineapple Express, the Seth Rogen movie. Mm-hmm. And holy shit, that movie felt like it went on for 6 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude, that movie. That movie.
Well, so
I
many different
haven't. I don't
things
think I've watched
happened.
that movie since. It was like ruined Pineapple Express
Yeah.
for me.
I think I'd put it on at one point, and you told me that story, and then you just weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
I don't have a story like that, but I do have a story where I got too high, and we had a bunch of friends over, and we were watching Shrek. And I made some spaghetti for myself. I made like 2 pounds of spaghetti. I made a lot more than
lot of spaghetti.
I made a lot more than I should have, but I was too high, and I was sitting on the floor, and I thought that it was gonna bring a lot of attention to me if I got up and like put it away. So I just remember being high as shit and trying to force down 2 pounds of spaghetti so no one would look at me. And then it made Shrek feel like it took forever.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wish this were just ending, so that way we'd all like stand up or do something. It was just like this cycle in my head of like, do I get up? Do I not? Do I eat it? Do I not? Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up. No, I'm not.
That's what
Oh my god, I'm really high.
That's your purgatory.
And then, haha, little Shrek joke, haha. Oh my god, I'm gonna throw up.
When you die, you're gonna like wake up from like a nap that was going on in that moment.
Yeah. It was really scary. But I got through. I don't think I finished it. I don't think that was physically possible for me to do that. But I ate a lot more than I thought I could have. And I hurt for the next couple days.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Hey, talk about the fucking 3-foot-long poop the next day.
Yeah, dude. That 3-foot-long python.
Yeah. Came out like a spaghetti noodle. Oh.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, my next few things are just kind of some grievances I have with Guinness and just the world record kind of industry as a whole.
Because okay,
I feel like now, and to my case in point, the Guinness website,
yeah,
they list world records, but they withhold a lot. They have like maybe 30 records listed on their website, and it's like hard to navigate. And I think they do this on purpose, so like you go out and buy the book, you know. And so in my point, I think. This is I wrote a little joke right here. Sir Hugh Beaver should have the world record for most spins in their grave. Because like with the way the world record, how Guinness now like they want you to buy the book, and like it's not as accessible as just being able to go to the website. And the whole reason he made the
was
book
to make it accessible.
Yeah. So now he'd be spinning in his grave. And he should have the world record.
Rolling
for it.
in the grave?
No, it's spinning. I'm pretty sure it's spinning.
Pretty sure it's rolling in the grave.
You'd be rolling in the grave, spinning in the grave. Feels identical almost.
Yeah, I think it's not worth looking
You'd
up.
be spolling in the grave.
Hey, everybody in the comments, do you spin in your grave?
Let us know.
Or do you, rotate? What?
Roll.
Roll.
You said roll.
You rotate in the
Are
grave?
you rotating in the grave?
Do you hokey pokey in the grave?
But also, world records as a whole now,
Yeah.
like, it's just all marketing strategies or people trying to, like, buy their way to fame.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the World Records website, the first thing you see is apply, you know? And then, like, if you click on, like, the 3-letter bar, the first thing that pops up is records for your business. You know, where it's, like, corporations are, like, teaming up with the Guinness to try and market, and, you know, you pay them a few $100,000 and they'll set up an event for you.
That's fucking corporate America for you.
Hell.
Can't even have a world record anymore.
Can't have a world record anymore. Fucking A, dude.
Did you come across any world records when you were looking? Anything that you thought might be worth attempting? Anything that looked maybe a little fun?
Not really. I mean, I don't really have... The only, being best in the world is I would like to be the best director in the world.
Okay, well, I think that's subjective, though, because it's art.
Sure.
You know, to be the undisputed best.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't really say more to that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but that's like I just don't have like no part of me feels like I need to like drink the most Monster Energies in 3 hours, you know?
Oh, that would kill you.
Yeah, well,
if you did as much as you physically could, imagine all the caffeine and taurine and sugars and you'd be dead before the 3 hours were up.
Is there anything that you would want to try?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of different fun things. Like, that one girl that grew her hair really long, longest hair in the world, and she's like a real life Rapunzel. But I hate having.
Imagine the maintenance on that.
Yeah, I was
Or the weight.
I don't even really like when my hair goes lower than my shoulders, honestly, and it feels like a lot. So, I don't think that one's for me. When I was in like middle school, Ethan's eating fries. Some old crunchy fries.
They're not old. Like maybe an hour old.
or like longest fingernails. I was really not to the curly level, but I was growing out my nails pretty long in middle school. But then they'd break off, so I'd have like a bunch of long ones, and then like my pinky would be really short. I had the opposite of a Coke nail. I don't know. Like, there's not a lot that.
I mean, would
totally...
you want to have a world record?
Well, I think there's something fun about it.
Okay.
You know, I think there's something fun about, in a way, it's like a leaving your mark on the world.
Sure.
You know,
a legacy.
Yeah. If I were to do any world record, I'd probably it would be something really niche.
Most
and
times
something...
doing your mom. World's most moms done.
Yeah, you think that's the record I'm breaking?
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I really don't. But maybe if we ever get this on video, we can just do attempting to break a bunch of world records. I don't know why the first thing, when we were talking about world records and different things that we could do, I don't know why the first thing that came to mind was most number of fucking, what are they called? Hard-boiled eggs in your mouth.
But neither of our mouths are that big. Like,
no,
you saw that. I told you about the guy with the gaping mouth.
And another thing, I don't really like hard-boiled eggs. So
maybe not the one for us.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We could do one. Most friends.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Longest hug.
Ugh. Don't get me started. Talk about longest hug. Me and Katie beat that world's so many times over.
Okay, that you're now reminding me of the thing I'm the most excited for with this whole world record.
Are you moving on? Because I need to say something about long hugs.
Okay, you go for it.
I believe that Katie and I, well, I don't know how long the world's longest hug was, but when Katie and I were kids, I'm sure some other people.
Your twin sister, Katie.
Yes. Some other people may or may not have had this shared experience of, you know, when you and your sibling get in a fight and then your parent has to intervene and, like, help fix it.
Drew and I never fought.
Okay.
We rarely fought.
Well, okay, Katie and I actually did a lot.
And then my mom being mad at me for fucking with Drew.
Sure.
And Drew just being, stop it.
Yeah, but y'all are, like, nonchalant. You know, you don't really care that much. Like, me and Katie would work each other up over the smallest shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were talking about Lion King 2 the other day. I know I'm off on 2 tangents. Lion King 2, and, like, we would then, after we'd watch the movie, we'd, like, play pretend, and we'd be each of the lions, and then we'd, like, bat at each other for a second. The second someone got scratched or someone got hurt, it would be a brawl. We'd be brawling on the carpet. Because then, hey, you did that a little too hard. That hurt. See how this feels. Smack.
Right.
You know, like, that was awful. But stuff like that, we'd have, like, fights. Usually over, like, who owned something or who was going to do what or use whatever thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom would always intervene and just say, all right, go to the hugging rug, and we'd have to stand on the living room rug, and we'd have to stand and hug.
Oh God.
And it got to a point that, like, even if we were still kind of fighting her a little, it would be like this whole dance of, like, can we just fucking sit down because our legs are hurting because we've been standing and hugging for so long.
Oh my God.
And we'd have to, like, you know, kind of
physical abuse.
No. We'd have to, like, twist to the side to be able to, like, squat down and put our legs down.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point was, like, our mom just wanted us to, like, laugh at each other when we were doing that. But, and think that would break the tension. It didn't. It usually caused more arguments.
Yeah.
Hug rug.
Because, I mean, I imagine one of you could just start hugging the other one harder, like squeeze more.
Oh,
and then the other one would squeeze harder, and then you'd just, like, both be squeezing as hard as you can.
And not breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of the world record for longest hug, also the longest holding your breath.
That would be involuntary category,
exactly.
All right. But the thing
The thing you're excited about.
yes.
Your thing that, yeah,
So-
your preparation.
On Wikipedia, there was a lovely list of Guinness World Records that they've stopped recording. And they
Oh.
list the reason why
They're
they've
banned.
stopped.
You
Yeah,
can't do it anymore.
banned records. And man, there are some really funny ones in here. I mean, there are some like really obvious ones. Like they don't do any like largest animal anymore because people would like overfeed cats and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just
and
animal
like
abuse.
the obvious they don't do.
What about
the,
largest person? They don't do that? Someone overfeeding themselves?
I don't. That didn't show up on the list, but I mean, they don't do a lot. They don't do a lot of animal stuff anymore. Like largest audience at a camel wrestling festival. They don't do that one anymore.
Camel wrestling?
Yeah.
That was a thing?
Yep. They can't. Well, they can't. Well, I'm sure it's still a thing, but Guinness World Record doesn't
I've
give
ridden a
out
camel.
award. That's exciting.
I rode a camel at a zoo. We went to the John Ball Zoo. I rode a camel, and Katie, okay. We could each have, I do want you to get to this. I am excited about this, but now I'm just blabby. We went to the zoo, and Mom let us each choose one activity. I wanted to ride the camels. That felt tame to me. And Katie wanted to go on the ropes course. So what happened? I rode the camel. Camels are kind of meaner than you'd expect.
Yeah, dude. They say camels are dicks.
They spit, and like the one that I was riding on, like didn't want to walk. I think it was overworked. Honestly, maybe that's. Now,
I mean,
my
would you want to be rid by a child?
Ridden? Rode. I mean, I was a small child back then. I'm sure I didn't weigh that much. I was like 9.
Would you give
Yeah.
a piggyback ride to your 9-year-old self?
Yeah, I would. That'd be fun.
What would you, if you had to? Okay, so you're playing charades with your 9-year-old self. It's the only way you can communicate, and you can only say one thing to him. What are you trying to say, and how do you communicate via charades to do it?
You got me on so many tangents. Oh God, I'm thinking of. Okay, so I'm trying to convey something to my younger self.
Yeah.
Is that the goal of this charade?
Yeah, like a piece of advice,
Okay.
but you can only do it via charades.
Oh. I mean, I would try to tell myself I was a little gayer, I guess, than I supposed. But I don't know how I would fucking act that out.
So you just do like the V and like.
No. God. That's not a good one. I think I wouldn't say anything to my younger self because I wouldn't want to change the person that I am now.
Hey,
Boom!
good answer.
How's that?
Good answer.
How you like them apples?
Good answer.
Back to my camel
Yeah,
story.
go back to your camel story.
I rode the camel. I had a fine time, honestly, riding a camel. I thought, yeah, money well spent. $10 to ride a camel back then? That was kind of a lot of money.
That is kind of a lot of money.
Which is why we could only each choose one thing, because Mom had a limited budget for
Yeah.
our zoo trip. Katie wanted to go on the high ropes course. She got out there.
Oh yeah.
She got stuck. She got stuck on the high ropes course.
And by stuck, you mean just like scared and couldn't move on any further, not like physically stuck in the ropes.
Yes. Yeah. She was totally fine.
Yeah.
But just did not want to move. And Katie, I don't think she likes heights. I don't think she's a fan, but I think she's done a lot more to try to overcome her fear of that.
Yeah.
It's actually been a little bit since we've talked about that. I should try to see where she's at with that. I hate heights. That I would say is like my top fear, honestly, is heights. Not for me. Don't like it.
I kind of like heights.
I fucking, oh God. Anytime I even stand and I feel, because it's maybe not heights specifically, but the feeling of falling. Anything where I'm,
Yeah, falling doesn't. Well, when I was rock climbing, I kind of liked the.
I don't like rock climbing because of a fear of falling.
Sure.
That's kind of the thing. Because when I was a kid and we were watching the 4th of July fireworks, we went up on the roof and it was me, Katie, and Dad, and we were all fine. But Mom was terrified for us as she stood in the driveway, just like kind of silently crying with her arms outstretched, waiting if one
ready
of us
to
fell.
catch. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
So that's why I don't like heights. But Katie got stuck out there. Mom wasn't about to go out on that ropes course. And there was an instructor. I don't know why mom didn't just say, "Hey, can you grab my kid for me, please?" Mom made me go out. She said, "Go get your sister." So I'm like sweating a lot, sweating profusely. It's hot. We're at the zoo in like July.
You just ridden a camel.
And I just ridden a camel, yeah. So I got a lot of interesting smells going on. And I had to save my sister from the ropes. And then the second I got out there and got to her, she's like, I'm fine. And then she like didn't even want to talk to me or didn't want any help. And then she like got off. It was, I don't know why I started talking about that.
Because the largest audience for camel wrestling. It's held by some place in Turkey. It was 20,000 people were watching. They don't record that anymore.
Would you convey something in charades to your younger self? I want to give you the opportunity because I feel like that was a leading question. Maybe you had something in mind.
I mean, I really don't. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what I would tell my younger self. I mean, it would mostly just be like, stay strong, you know.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, honestly, you know, I didn't start, like, doing, like smoking weed or, like, drinking until I was, like, 18 anyways, you know?
Yeah.
I did, like, pretty well in high school.
I didn't do anything till college. I had a sip of some mulled wine that I got from my mom. I had, like, a baby sip of it. I mean, legally, no, nobody gave me any wine when I was
Never.
underage. Certainly not an adult. No adult bought me alcohol.
Never. Oh. Okay, so here's a good one that they don't do. This is like a category that they just don't record anymore, and it's called untimed gluttony.
Oh, God.
Is that an interesting category?
How much food can you eat in an unspecified amount of time?
Kind of.
That sounds like a nightmare.
And it was canceled due to health concerns.
Yeah.
But here's the little blurb that they
excited
have. No, just this whole list.
Oh, this whole list is. Okay.
The 1995 edition, which was like the first one, declared the fastest time to eat an entire ox, 42 days, completed in 1880 by Germany's Johann Kelzer. A total
I'm
of...
related to him. I'm not. I just liked your reaction there.
A total of 43 gluttony records were discontinued in 1989 with the just greatest omnivore remaining for historic value. And then for that one, that is held by Michael Letito, who consumed chandeliers, bicycles, television sets, and Cessna light aircrafts.
People do that. That's like my strange addiction, and they eat like rocks and metal, like aluminum foil.
Yeah.
That can't how can? I feel like you'd have to train your body to be able to digest anything like that.
Probably. Well, like I don't even know if you are digesting that. Like, is it just passing through you essentially?
Oh God! Imagine pooping out tinfoil.
Mm-hmm. I mean, ugh.
Talk about a sharp poop.
But apparently Guinness said that they were not aware of anyone dying while attempting the records. But a representative said that they are simply gross.
Yeah, jeez.
What do we... they stopped doing the largest penny pyramids because of a penny shortage.
Oh.
So
they were building some big pyramids then, huh?
Mm-hmm. Or they don't do largest pie fight because it's wasteful. Okay. Food in record attempts should be used for general consumption by humans.
Sure. But I like the idea of a pie fight. I wish that I went to a public school so I could have gotten in a food fight.
I mean,
I know that's probably not something that ever happens.
God, you get in so much trouble.
Probably. I missed so much.
I went to
I was only in public school in kindergarten. From first grade on, I was in a private Christian school up until 5th grade, and then 6th grade on, I was homeschooled. So I feel like I missed out on a lot of basic school things. I wanted to ride on a bus. I wanted to have a locker. I wanted a food fight. I wanted I don't know. I'm sure there's other things, but that just seems very school to me.
Right.
To like have a food fight.
You want
Food
a
fight in the
home,
cafeteria.
you want like a homeschool and like a.
Yeah, a food fight in my cafeteria would have been me just throwing peas at my mom. I don't think she would have
Oh,
appreciated
did I say
that.
homeschool? I said homeroom. Having like a homeroom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, homeroom would have been...
I only had homerooms in middle school.
I mean, through 5th grade, like, I did have, like... We just had our classroom, but, like, that was home... The concept of homeroom, that was, like, just our whole classroom.
Yeah.
So, like, that wasn't anything that was, like, glamorous to me. But a locker...
Yeah.
Riding on the school bus...
Vaping in the bathroom.
Would not have been me.
No, that was a little bit after me.
Yeah.
Vapes were a thing, but it was all mod vapes back then, and that you can't just conceal that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, there were people like legit doing drugs in the bathroom.
I was convinced that I wasn't gonna smoke or do anything. Like going to college, I was fresh kid on the scene, just graduated from my homeschool class of 3 people. Me being one, my sister, my identical twin sister being one, and then another girl. The other girl, she got married the same day my sister got married. The exact same day.
Oh, really?
And both their names are Katie, which is
Oh.
really crazy.
That is crazy.
Shout out Katie Arnouts. Well, her last name's not Arnouts now. And Kate Howe. I gotta also shout out my sister if I'm shouting out the other one.
Shout out.
Where was I going with that? Oh, I was convinced that I wasn't gonna do anything getting to college. And then I remember the first night out, I had a lot of some UV blue and Gatorade, and I smoked a joint. Got offered to me, and I was like, you know what? Sure. Fine, yeah, let's do it. And then I didn't look back.
I mean, I was always pretty open to the idea of drugs.
Yeah.
I never ran in like the circles where like we were doing drugs, you know.
Yeah.
We were like, yo, we have the weekend to like hang out. Let's fucking play video games.
Yeah.
Let's all bring our computers to one person's room.
Yeah, you would do that, and me and my high school friends, we'd all just sit around and, like, psychoanalyze each other. That was our fun activities that we did. We'd get together after school and just say, what do you think my problems are? It was actually a lot of fun, and I do miss that, actually. But definitely not drugs. We are not doing drugs. I mean, I always thought, like, cigarettes were cool and stuff like that. I mean, like, they're not. My grandma, well, I think all of my grandparents kind of had issues with smoking. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. Let's get back into your list.
They don't track longest kiss anymore because due to dangers associated with sleep deprivation.
Oh, God. A long kiss okay. Does that appeal to anyone? What is the point of kissing
I don't know.
for that long?
They don't have any little history.
What about a
for
chapped
that one.
lip? Is this like active kissing?
I don't know. They don't got a little blurb for it. And I'm not
Someone's
about
just
to...
like with a spray bottle next to him, keeping
Yeah,
their
just keeping 'em
mouth
moist.
Ew.
They don't track longest time buried alive anymore because it's unsafe.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that's sad.
In 1998, a human mole named Jeff Smith remained underground for 147 days in order to achieve the Guinness record and beat his mother's 101-day stint. Guinness denied the award for safety reasons, and Jeff stated there are far more dangerous things in the book. There is a man who eats cars.
So he beats his mother and then doesn't get the
award.
the title?
Yeah,
That's crazy. 147 days underground?
it's a lot.
Mole man.
The mole man.
You know, we found, speaking of my private Christian school, our groundskeeper one time found a mole on the lawn, and for some reason there weren't a lot of people.
critter.
Yeah. Oh, we were so excited. We were just weeding, and boring activity to do at your church/school on a weekend. But the mole brought
Someone's
a lot of
gotta do
excitement. Yeah, and it had to be me and Katie, our ripe
Had to
11-year-old
be children.
selves.
You
Yep.
don't have to pay.
We were volunteering. Oh, God, I could really get into that, but I'm not going to. The mole was so cute. And we were
Moles
trying to
are
bring
very
him
cute.
over to the high school football field. But
Have him fuck up the football field.
no, it was like, so our church was like kind of very close to the high school. Like you would just have to walk through a field to get to it, really. And we were just trying to put him like over in that way. So if he were to go, he wouldn't come back to the church.
Sure.
And maybe do something to the football field, but we don't know. But we dropped him a couple times. And when I say we, I don't think me or Katie was holding him ever. I do think it was the groundskeeper with gloves and like twice on the pavement. And I don't think he made it.
Oh no.
That's so sad.
That's so sad.
I think about that mole actually a lot.
I think that groundskeeper might have done that on purpose. If it's a groundskeeper, moles cause them a lot of problems, honestly.
Yeah, but me and Katie were like running up next beside him and like petting it. And should we name him? I feel like if I was doing that with like two little kids flocking either side of me, I wouldn't intentionally drop it.
No, but I mean, well, maybe that's why you accidentally drop it, you know? It's like, oh
Yeah.
no,
Dude,
I
don't
dropped
know.
it.
Moles
And then he
also,
realizes that it was still like moving around. Like, oh no, I dropped it again.
by the
A
time
little
we
more
left him,
force this time.
by the time we left him, he was moving still.
Oh.
The mole was moving, not a lot, which is a concerning thing. He wasn't moving a lot, but he was still moving. So it was not an attempted murder.
Yeah, he was only just really suffering and was probably going to die slowly.
Oh, that's so awful.
Yeah. Well, nature sucks.
So Mole Man, you know, my mole didn't win and that mole man didn't win. Moles can't win.
So it's not a mole world. It's a mole world.
Anti-mole.
Anti-mole. They don't track most beers drunk in an hour for
Yeah.
health concerns. Within 60 minutes, 23-year-old Jack Keynes drank 36 pints of beer. It occurred in 1969
Did
Ireland.
he die after that?
I don't know.
Well, jeez. I sure hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. I don't know why they don't track most difficult tongue twister.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
But apparently they had it in the 1974 edition, and it featured the sixth sheep 6.
Now let me read that. The sixth sheep sick. What the fuck?
That's a tough one.
The sixth sheep's sick.
It's the world's toughest. You just did it.
Because
to
I read
go.
it very slowly.
How do you feel? You're a world record holder now.
My brain is on levels.
You can measure them.
Yeah.
Check them out.
There's definitely more than 3. No,
This I really like. Okay, what you're gonna say? I really like this next one.
No, the one that I thought was the hardest is Rubber Baby Boogie Bumpers. And then I got a little bit better at it, and I liked that as a kid. But
They don't track most greeting cards received by an individual over fears of overwhelming the postal system.
oh wow, I wonder if that had to have become an issue.
So, this blurb is a little sad.
No,
Young
tone shift.
Young British brain cancer patient Craig Shergold set a record for receiving 33 million cards between 1989 and 91. However, due to an email hoax, the deluge of mail continued for more than a decade after Craig's recovery.
What do you mean? That's not sad.
Well, he got brain cancer.
But he recovered and got a lot of people's support. I think,
That's
if
a good
anything,
point.
that's a heartwarming story about the power of community.
That's a good point.
Way to go, him. That's a lot of... Do you think he read them all? Probably not.
Probably not.
I think that would be that should be the world record. Most greeting cards read.
Yeah, that's kind of the list of the best ones I found out of that list.
Yeah. Wow. You got a lot of interesting stuff in there.
That's what I got for world records.
Yeah. What was your favorite thing you discovered out of all those? What one stands out to you? For me, it's Big Poop.
Big Poop is fucking
I feel like we
crazy.
had a lot to say about Big Poop.
Yeah. Big poop was a nuts one.
Hey, everybody in the comments, tell us your biggest poop.
I'm more kind of like disgusted by the world record industry. You know, that's the thing
Sure.
I'm taking away from it. You know?
Yeah.
And like when you look at it, and like you look back at like all of like how world records are just like ingrained in our society now. It's just this gross capitalistic ploy to like make you. It's like it's just
And
an
that's because
advertisement.
anything can be used in like a corporate greedy way.
Right.
I think the heart of it, Hugh Beaver, hardly know her.
Sir Hugh Beaver.
I think I hope his intention was, I mean, like with finding that fastest bird.
Yeah.
You know, that it was a sense of community, a sense of wonder, relating to your world and getting to know the world around you and what people are capable of.
Right.
I think there's a lot of it that's really fun and can be really cool. And me as a kid, like, kind of looking through that stuff, I was always kind of inspired just by, like, the weirdest stuff that people would come up with and what people were capable of. Obviously, there's some, like, weird, gross stuff. Like anything. But hopefully you're not too bummed out by it, because I think, if anything, it can be impressive and community. Bleh.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not impressed. And like, honestly, you know, if I look at it from like, hey, you know, I work at Guinness Book of World Records.
Mm-hmm.
I got a book I gotta sell, you know, like, or you know, I'm like, I guess I don't got a book I gotta sell. I just gotta make money. You know, how am I gonna make money when my business is world records? You know, you're gonna do whatever it takes. You know, because that's like your job essentially. So
Yeah.
I think I'm just mad at capitalism
Hey,
and
aren't
how
we
it
all?
corrupts everything it fucking touches.
Aren't we all? I'm just trying to leave it on a nice.
Aren't we,
No.
Paul? Dude, one thing I kind of I thought I had a good idea for what we do on this is like we do like an idea generator, and like it gives us like a movie idea that we have to develop, and then maybe like do some improv some scenes from it or something.
Sure.
Because I really like developing movies, and I think
Yeah.
we're pretty good at it.
Ethan and I had a lot of fun last night. If nobody has watched the insane and highly see, now I can't even think of what words are, so my joke isn't going to work. But if anyone wants to watch a really good movie, you should watch the Disney classic 2011 Minutemen.
Minutemen. I could remake the shit out of that movie.
But we were watching that, and we got on like this whole spiel about like a movie idea, which I think that could be something fun that we could go over also.
Sure. I mean, I don't know how I feel about just divulging good script ideas.
Yeah, I'm
to
not
the
saying
world.
anything about what it is. I don't want you to say nothing either, but maybe that'll be a little teaser for something we talk about in the future.
Let's just say it relates to the previous episode.
Yeah, there you go. So go back and watch or listen to the first one. I guess, if you're watching, there's not a lot going on visually. You had 2 stick figures.
Yeah.
And anybody that's listening, in the comments, can you, like, if you've ever thought of a world record that you want to attempt, or one that you have attempted, let us know. I'm curious to find out about more world records.
Let it snow.
Do you
World
want to
record for
help me
most
wrap this up a little?
snow in the house.
Oh, God.
Let's break it. Let's do it tonight. It's supposed to snow a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Everyone, hey, drive safe home. Everyone drive home safe tonight out there.
Winter weather advisory. Winter weather advisory.
That's the alert.
Maybe we should go for most amount of words spoken in a podcast. I love that word.
It's a good one.
It is. All right. Well, I think we're kind of at the end here. End of our
saying goodbye.
rope. I mean, unless you have anything more that you want to add or talk about.
I mean, I was throwing out the idea that we develop that movie right now, but we are actually at an hour and 4 minutes right now.
I was gonna say, it feels kind of like a natural end to our discussion that was brought forth today.
Oh, what if we did, you know how at one point I was doing like that little D&D adventure just for you, but via paper? We could do that just like
In
this. Yeah.
Yeah, we can add an element of. Do you want to do like a little story at the end, and then I choose a path, and then that leads into a little bit of a story in the next one?
Sure. I mean, this isn't shit I don't have the time right now to be able to like create one. So it would be almost like.
I think let's maybe not add more to ourselves right now, because I'm just impressed that we're doing another one.
That's a good point.
So I think let's just try to keep the momentum of hopefully once a week. We're going to do our best to keep this once a week. We haven't picked the day yet.
I mean, how many kangaroo combats did we do?
We did two.
No, we did more than two. We did
maybe three?
We did 3 or 4.
Yeah, we definitely did not do 4.
Didn't do 4. Okay, so if we make this to 4, it would be the longest running podcast we've had so far.
Yeah. And I gotta say, I do enjoy this. I like having odd, whimsical conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Hope you guys enjoyed listening, hanging out with us. Ethan sharing some weird poop stories.